Awesome. So I'm Daniel. I'm going to be giving a brief introduction of Community Calendar. Then I'm going to pass it off to Austin, who's going to do a demonstration of our iOS application, and then actually is going to demonstrate the web application. So as an introduction to Community Calendar, it is an event planning app. And so event planning is something that's really hard, and our goal is to make sure that the technology is not one of the pain points in the process of event planning. So there are a lot of event organization tools that already exist, but as it turns out, a lot of them are not geared to cater towards communities at the local level. So when you're an event organizer in a local community and want to meet the needs of that community, it's a lot different than trying to plan, for example, a music concert or something like that. And so we wanted to try to make tools that would really assist local communities making local events for neighborhoods and stuff. Our stakeholder that we've been meeting with is obviously really engaged in the event planning side of things, but we also have a separate user type that's very important. You can't really plan an event without people who want to go to the event. So we had kind of two user personas in mind that we wanted to make this useful for, both event planners and people interested in attending events in the community. So as I mentioned before, we did have a stakeholder who's very involved in community organization, and kind of our inspiration comes from Electra, our stakeholder, who we met through Louis, our team lead. A really interesting story with that we just have a really personal connection to the issue that's kind of central to this problem. So in the Detroit area where our stakeholder is located, there has historically been issues with communities planning events over the top of each other, which creates conflict and animosity. And we want to help alleviate that. So our app does present users with tools to make sure that individual event planners don't step on each other's toes. So this was a build-on project. And going into it, our stakeholder did have a pretty clear vision of the priorities for Community Calendar. And so just going to give a pretty brief overview of the problems that we wanted to solve going into this based on that. And then you'll get to see how we solve them in just a bit in our demonstration. But first of all, when we got this app, it was built on kind of a free tier deployment of Heroku and Netlify. It was a pretty slow experience, and we decided that in solving that, to make it a very quick and responsive experience for users, we also wanted to make it something that would be flexible and maintainable by future developers. And so we spent some time deploying onto AWS. We also needed, it was called our Community Calendar, but there wasn't actually a calendar in the site. We wanted to make sure that we would have a calendar because that's an important tool that our event planners and user testing requested to be able to quickly visualize when events are happening in the community. We also needed a system in place where our users could create a sort of recurring event, something that would happen on a weekly, monthly basis that they would not have to repeatedly fill out forms to accomplish. And so with that, I want to pass over to Austin, who's going to demonstrate our iOS app.
Awesome. Thank you, Daniel. I'm going to have my teammate Michael pull up the simulator right now. We'll walk you through the iOS app and how it's all functioning. So upon launch of the app, you can see the users presented with the Discover page. With this Discover page, we have all general events, with the top being the featured events and a horizontal collection view. Just below that, we have all the general events that are based by filter, all upcoming, this weekend, tomorrow, and today. You can also filter this with a grid view to display different events. Then you can also search for an event. If you go up to the search bar and search for any event that you are looking for. Then if you go back after seeing detail, if we try to attend here, actually we'll try it after, then if we go to the see all on the Discover page, you can see all the events. Then I'm going to have Michael click one and try to attend an event. Now see, he needs to be signed in. So let's go to the sign in page. He cannot attend or favorite without being signed in. So Michael's going to sign in now to the authentication. This will also allow you to register an account if you do not already have one. And upon signing in, you'll see that Michael's presented with his profile, which includes his image, his name, the events he's created, the events he's saved, the events he is attending. He can click the hamburger menu to display functionality that we don't want the users to accidentally click, including the edit profile and logout. Michael can edit his profile, which includes changing your image or name, whatever your preference is. Michael's going to change his image and select one right here. And then he can save that. Now we can go to Michael's events tab in the middle. This will show the user their events for their specific profile. These will just be displayed on a calendar through contextual dots, and these dots are also filtered based on what type of event they are. So if Michael clicks on the 27th, you can see that it's just a single saved event. If he clicks on the 18th, you can see there's an event that is not only attending, but it is saved and created. You can also view the detail for this event if you'd like. And you can see you are attending and you have favored this. You can also filter all the events just based off of the filters instead of clicking the calendar. And then you can also add these to your calendar. If Michael goes back to the detail modal as he was presenting. And now Michael can attend and favorite this event. And if he goes to the event detail, he can again open it in his Google Maps if he'd prefer. And there's that event. Then he can also add it to his iPhone's calendar if he prefers as well, just as displayed here. And that's our iOS app. Thank you.